Yo, Joe, let's talk Chris Carson. Shit. Let's get him off.
Let's talk. Trader Joe's trades. Let's go. I'm open.
3. That was a bad clap. I missed my hand.
I'll even clap him for you.
That was the most unathletic thing I've ever seen you do.
Yo, hey, Maul, you got to add that to the beginning intro, yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 9 of the Indecision Cave. I'm your host, Ryan Grace, and I'm joined by the great panel of Indecision Cave league mates. We got our commissioner, Ashton Jones, with the nice braids. There you go. We got Justin, who looks like he's about to continue pacing the league with 41 career regular season victories.
I'm coming for him.
And the man who has stuck by his word. He let us know he was open for trades, and Trader Joe has lived to his name, lived to his words. Joe, you went sick this week, man. How are you?
Doing good. It's also good to know that had I kept everyone on my original team, I still would have lost to Ace's team because Dalvin Cook decided to have himself a day. So it's good to know I got some value from them.
Well, Joe, we're gonna stick with you for a second, man. So you were facing Ashton, and you kind of went into the game thinking you were probably not gonna win, but it was because you made a bunch of moves this past week. After the last episode, you made it known, hey, the doors are open, let's talk trades, and you made a slew of them. The most recent ones, do you want to review a little bit?
Sure. So the big name, as you mentioned before, is Chris Carson. Now, I thought that he would be the easiest to ship, but what wound up happening is the order of players kind of messed with that. So what I mean by that is Justin had reached out for Terry McLaurin, and we'll send a graphic of the trade details there. But essentially, that added to my stockpile of picks for next year, and that his third round pick wound up being my third round pick. So the league went wild. Oh man, what are y'all thinking? Joe's gonna win next year. And on that note, actually, I want to prove something, that just because someone has a lot of draft capital and may even draft very well doesn't guarantee that they'll win the league. So let's look at some of the top players who were drafted this year who probably disappointed your team. Saquon Barkley. Michael Thomas has about 4 fantasy points on the entire year. Christian McCaffrey, we know what happened to him. Josh Jacobs, he went the 8th pick in our league. I would say he's somewhat of a bust, at least for where you drafted him. Kenyon Drake. Let's see. Everyone else is fine so far. Okay. Todd Gurley, would you say he was worth a second round pick?
I think he leads the league in rushing touchdowns.
I knew you found something positive to say. Okay, fair enough. Okay, but either way, you get down to the third round, it gets even more murkier. Le'Veon Bell, especially with him joining the Chiefs this year, it's not looking good. I guess we'll talk on that later. Juju Smith-Schuster, I totally butchered that one. Jonathan Taylor is trending downwards. Cortland Sutton, and Odell Beckham. So these are all, solid players, but they either disappointed you in their production or they're hurt, which is common. It's fantasy. So, or people just wanted to give Justin and the rest of the league a hard time just because next year I'm looking okay but I'm not guaranteed to win anything. But yeah, I think Ace wound up being a benefactor of being my last trade, most likely, because there wasn't much of a trademark. I reached out to a number of people in our league, including you, Ryan. You just said you weren't interested in Chris Carson helping your team this year. So
there you go. So, I mean, at this point, we won't say you're in tank mode, but you were definitely in sell mode. You ended up with did you get an additional second round pick at all?
So with Ashton, I gave him Chris Carson, and I got his. I gave him Chris Carson, and I gave him my last third-round pick. So I have 3. Whatever my latest third-round pick will go to him, and I get his second-round pick. So now I have 1 first, 2 seconds, and 2 thirds.
There you go. That's a lot of early round draft capital. And so it's going to be interesting in our league, gents, to kind of see how this plays out. Justin, do you think, foreshadowing or looking into next year, are you nervous at all that with 5 picks of the first 36 picks, Joe has put himself in a position to really run the league at all next year?
He put himself in a good position. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not really worried because at the same time, he still has to make the picks at the end of the day. Given that Joe does do extensive research and he's one of the better drafters in our league, but like he just painted the picture for us. You never know who you pick when you pick in the first round, depending on projections and injuries. You don't know what you could get.
For sure. Ashton, everybody was getting a lot of flack. I got a text message from a league member who said 2-5 making trades like this, that doesn't seem right. And they were talking about your team and giving up a second round pick for Chris Carson. Like, do you think you gave up too much? And, are we putting Joe in a position to really be in the driver's seat next year?
So one thing real fast, just a stat in your favor. Todd Gurley is 7th in points for running backs. So
yeah, we're not worried about it.
I'm just letting you know. If you want stats, we assume more from Todd Gurley, but he's giving you what you drafted him for. So
Fair. Yep, that's fair.
Outside of that, listen, I was against in-season trades to begin with. If there was one thing I was saying, is like, let's not do this because it's going to make teams lopsided. I voiced my opinion. People were like, no, let's still do it. We're all in favor. Cool. You unleashed the monster. And Joe and myself, the both of us like trading. His name is Trader Joe. And anyone who knows me outside of just fantasy knows I like trading, just in general, whether it's sports games, whatever it may be, right? And so once the first trade went on, once the first draft pick was shipped off, it's open season now. And so everyone wants to complain about draft picks. Chris Carson, me and Joe were in talks the entire week. I told Joe, hey, reach out to certain people, see what you can get. If nothing else, let's come back and let's have a conversation and talk. So I waited until after he reached out to everyone else. No one gave him anything, so I'm going to make an offer to try to win. I gave away a second.
Ace got tremendous value. Average it out. So there's 12 draft spots in our league. So if you do the average, what is it? Six draft places for Chris Carson next year? If it's the average, like that's insane. I'll tell you, the best offer I got in this league for Chris Carson was I gave up my 8th and I would get their 2nd. So this was early on, but then they backed out, right? That's completely different from what, Ace was able to get. I think Ace got tremendous value. He got someone who's going to help him this year. I don't care if he's 2-5. He's going to be 3-5. Because he beat me this week. And if you look at the standings in our league, it's very close. So I think he got tremendous value. It's going to help him this year, and he's likely to be 6, 7, 8 spots away in a draft order, and still got Chris Carson helping to win a championship this year. Tremendous.
No, I hear you. I just, wanted to make sure that we vetted it out as a league. I mean, later on when we get together with a few more guests, we'll still talk about the draft, in-season trading, things like that. But, having just made trades with Justin and Ashton, I definitely wanted everybody to kind of weigh in on that. It's pretty clear that Ashton faced Joe this week and that Ashton has come out victorious, due in large part to Joe selling and Ashton kind of capitalizing on a lot of that. Ashton,
Whoa. The 2 people that I got from Joe didn't play. Yeah,
but tell us who did play, Ashton. Just real quick, very quick.
I mean, I drafted Dalvin Cook, and he decided to cook. And then I'm gonna do a little play on words in my little Cooper Cup also. So he also did a decent job as well on my team. Damien Harris did well. Russell Wilson let Russell cook. So we're just on the whole cooking type of thing, right? So I mean, honestly, my team that I drafted did well. I traded
and you got a
Joe.
good trade. You got a good tight end. You got Fant. That was a good trade. Yeah,
and I traded with Justin for that, which I'm pretty sure he'd probably want him back after the news of George Kittle. But he has options out there. But yeah, I mean, We're looking good. We're in ninth place right now. We're trying to just make a push for the playoffs. That's all. That's really all that matters.
And Justin, we'll go right to your matchup before we end this segment. We all doubted you, but you came out victorious. Tell us your thoughts.
Y'all gonna hear it on Wednesday, but it was just, another day at the office. I just came through, did my numbers. Like I told y'all before, I wasn't really worried. The pressure wasn't on me. It was on Ryan because he put up a close to 200-point performance the week before. And I told him verbatim it was up to him to repeat that performance. And
Ryan, what you looking like right now? What you looking at right now? What's your points looking like?
Yeah, no, it's a very, very bad week for the Whalers. I mean, right, in the middle of the Monday night games, we have 69 points, which would be still better than like 3 teams in the league. So it's embarrassing that we put up 69 points after 190 points last week.
Why couldn't I face you this week?
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
Why couldn't you have? But I mean, just as much as Justin's gonna walk away with the victory, like my team gave him no fight, right? Like I'm upset with my team's performance. It's not a close game. He didn't do anything special. He didn't go make a good move or anything crazy. Just put his guys out there and they just rolled through. And it hurts when that kind of thing happens, right? Like Cole Beasley was not used in the offense at all. Our gambles worked, right? Like we go with the Chiefs. They put up a respectable number on defense. The Chiefs, it's crazy because the Chiefs offense does this thing where like either kind of the running backs do okay and Mahomes does okay also, or Mahomes just kills and the running backs are irrelevant. And I saw that a little bit with Damian Williams last year. And so, I mean, I have Bell, I have CEH. Neither of them, I mean, I think they combined for about 8 points together. Some like around
12.
That, like 12. Yeah, so just a bad day overall for my running backs. And, it is what it is. Justin walks away with the victory, 41 career regular season wins. I'm 4-4. And we're still plugging ahead, making this playoff push. It's going to be tough just because of points, right? Like I think I'll end up tied with someone in 6th place, but with a 69-point performance, it's likely I'll be on the outside looking in at the end of this week.
And then where do you visit next week?
I'm not sure. You tell me.
I don't know. We just have to wait and see.
There you go.
Quick question, because you often refer to the 41 wins. How many seasons have you been recording stats, just to give a picture for all these wins?
Stats became official in 2016. So through 4.5 seasons, he has 41 wins. So he's averaging like probably 9 wins a season kind of thing. So by the end of this campaign, he should be up to 45, which would earn him another milestone. And the fact that he's going to get to 50 wins in his 6th season is truly remarkable. So
there you go. And I can't help but to thank Terry McLaurin will help you with that, Justin.
Appreciate it, man. Just here to do my numbers. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Enough happiness going around from you guys. We're going to hit this commercial break. When we come back, everybody's going to weigh in on their waivers to help the fans decide who they're going to start in week 9. See you in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indecision Cave. We are here to talk about week 9. And it's one of your favorite segments. We're going to go through our waiver wire picks, people that you could probably go and find in your leagues that can make your team better for at least this week. Sometimes it's a little bit of a longer play, but at least for this week. So we're going to start with Trader Joe. Joe, who are you eyeing off the waivers this week, man?
So, man, this week it seems to be tough. It doesn't seem to be a clear pickup. So I had to really dig through to see who's a good recommendation. And 46%. So typically, if it's 50% and above, we stay away from him. So he's right at that level. I had to dig deep. 46%. Robert Tonyan, tight end for the Packers, and right now he is the 9th tight end on the year. So half of you who are listening right now, dude, looks like Aaron Rodgers is back to playing at Aaron Rodgers level. I remember and Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the last year or two, there was questions about a potential decline. Am I saying that correctly?
It depends who you were listening to.
Oh, okay. But either way, I don't think anyone is saying that this year. So it's Devontae Adams and then everyone else. But everyone else, Tonyan, if you average all his games together, it's 12 points. However, it was 33 points against the Falcons. That's, messing with those numbers a little bit. But at least he's the tight end who can blow up. So I would go with Robert Tonyan.
There you go. No, he's definitely someone to look at. Like we had discussed when he was kind of just about to explode from a acquisition standpoint. Ashton came and reached out to me. He's like, "Yo, you gonna try to get him?" And I told him I was, and Ashton just like tripled my bid, doubled it, and that was a little shady. But we're in the indecision cave, so I respect it. If Tonyan's available, definitely try to go after him. Number one option at tight end, and until Alan Lazard comes back, he's pretty much the number 2 pass catching option, I'd say.
Did I offer to you in a trade this week?
Yeah, you definitely did, man. And I don't know how I can give up a wide receiver for a tight end, so I said no to that, and I'll continue to say no to that. But Ashton, who are you looking at off the waivers this week?
I ain't let him in like that. Let's just be very honest. The person that he offered to send me, because I asked him who he want, had less points than Robert Tonyan. So I just want to call that out as well. But strangely enough, and it blows my mind why this one receiver is only owned in 36% of leagues. And it's Corey Davis. This man is balling. Every game he's played this year, he's averaged double-digit points. And so for people who haven't have him rostered, if he's still sitting out there on your free agent pickup, make that move. I missed out on in our league picking him up. In my other league that I'm in, 100% picked him up 2 weeks ago. And that was around the time when he wasn't doing as great. But listen, man, if you have him and you're looking at like a PPR league, he is someone that you have to have on your roster. And he's one of those guys you can have him in your flex, whether you have 1 flex or 2 flex. He's a guy that you can put in your flex and trust that he will give you at least a double-digit outing. So he's someone that for the rest of the season you got to look for to have in your lineup, have on your team. He's a go-getter. And for those that don't have them owned in your leagues, what are y'all doing? And who do y'all have in y'all leagues if he's only owned in 36% of y'all? Like, what's going on? We in a 10-person league? 8? 4? What's good?
Oh, real quick, how many games has he played this year?
I'm going to say 6 off the top of my head, but I could be wrong. Hold on, let me just double-check. Corey Davis has played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Has had 17, 12, 11, 15, and 26.8 in PPR format.
Yeah, so when he's on the field, he's clearly one of Tannehill's guys, and
he averages 16.8 points in PPR leagues. Like, that's good.
That's very good. That's very good. Justin, we're coming to you, man. Who are you looking at off the waiver wire this week?
So I'm looking at Damien Harris. Usually one of my laws of fantasy football is to stay away from the New England backfield, but this is not a traditional New England Patriot team. They're looking desperate. They got to switch the game plan up. They got to try something new. And clearly with Damien Harris, when you give him his volume, he produces. So first off, he's in about 31% of teams rostered right now, which is kind of surprising, but not really. And he's one of the more prominent looking prospects on that team. It's looking like a disaster. So somebody like Damien Harris should be someone that you target. On top of that, I like their schedule going forward. I mean, it helps to play the Jets twice within the next 8 weeks. They got the Texans on the schedule. They got Miami on the schedule. So picking up Damien Harris would be beneficial for you going forward.
That's good insight, Justin.
That is
Good
very
insight.
So I'm going to go with someone who we've actually spoken a little ill about, at least in the last few weeks. Justin was big on letting go of Marvin Jones Jr. of the Detroit Lions, and the last 2 weeks he's kind of put us in our place, right? So last week At Atlanta, he gets 5 catches on 6 targets for 80 yards, which is good for 13 points in a PPR league. And then this week, Kenny Golladay goes down. He responds with 3 catches for 39 yards, but turns that into 2 scores, which is a monster fantasy game, on 7 targets. And so Golladay goes down, and there's reason to believe he's not going to play in the upcoming week 9. And so if that's the case, then he's pretty much back to being their number 1 or number 2 wide receiver. And up until this year, he was someone who was consistent, someone that you wanted to play or at least were considering. He had a really, really rough start, led Justin to kind of add him to his nuggets of wisdom of someone to drop or things like that. But of late, it seems like he's turned the corner. He's back to being Matt Stafford's number 2 guy. And if Galladay's gone, then maybe he's the one guy, number 1 for, like I said, at least 1 week. Or maybe he's back in the rotation as someone you can throw in a little bit more consistently.
Good luck, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, everyone out there, tread easy with that last recommendation. Tread very easy on that one.
Joe, do you want to add to it the third negative comment's a charm?
Actually, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the dude is a tall wide receiver. So, he can get touchdowns, as you can see. So, good luck.
I mean, I will say this. He was 4th in receiving yards, 3rd in targets. He's touchdown dependent. Do you really want that on your roster? I don't know.
Only time will tell. That's who we're going with this week. Gentlemen, any closing words?
Yeah, I got a question for Justin. So, upcoming week 9, Antonio Brown will be added to the weapons for Tom Brady. What are your expectations? Is he someone that they should plug and play right away or wait to see?
Oh, you put him in. At least from the reports I've been getting, Antonio Brown's been pretty much rooming with Tom Brady since the season started. He's gotten caught up on the playbook. All the coaches, all the reporters, they've been saying he's looking good in practices. So he's pretty much ready to go next week. So put him in there. We'll see his contributions. At the end of the day, he just wants the team to win. So if he gets 100, 200, if he gets 50 yards, play him and see what happens.
You said Antonio Brown just wants the team to win?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I didn't see him much as a team player, but maybe I heard Tom Brady got in contact with what's his name? He's a self-help guru.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah, Tony Robbins. So hopefully Antonio Brown back in the league is just great for football. I just hope he maintains the course and just let us see that God-given talent because, dude, he's it.
Business will be booming. Believe that.
Absolutely.
Believe that.
So
I got one more thing, Ryan. And it's about time we started fading T.Y. Hilton, man. He needs to be rostered in 0.7% of leagues. It's time to fade that dude. Fade him.
I just don't get it. I don't know why him and Phillip just couldn't get it this year.
I don't know, man. Phillip throws the ball like a hot potato, so I don't really trust him throwing anyways. And you see, who can you trust in that offense? Is it Mo Alley Cox? Is it Trey Burks? Is it Naheem Hines? Is it Jordan Wilkerson?
No. Let me say, as the guy who dropped Naheem Hines, is not him. I know he went off, but they're saying there's an ankle issue with Jonathan Taylor. And you look at you got to look at the reps. I have to pull it up, but it's not even worth looking at. Don't start Naheem Hines unless you're desperate.
He's got one more of those games in him this season.
So, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
I don't know
Maybe
which
on
one.
You gotta figure out what it is.
Right.
What is it?
Or FanDuel, whoever sponsors us in the future. One of those.
well, fellas,
fade T.Y. Hilton like a high top. Fade him early.
adios to T.Y. Hilton. On that note, folks, we are going to wrap this episode up. But we'll be back later in this week with 2 more guests. We'll start and sit. We'll probably talk coaching. And we'll answer whatever questions you guys might be thinking about within the Indecision Cave.